Hi, friends. Welcome to a very exciting live stream. So, for those of you who missed it, back in September, when I went to Nashville, Mara and I swapped books, like three books each to make the other person read. And then we're doing live streams on each other's channels when we finish them. So, I finished the books that Mara had for me. So, we're going to go over all of those. And then at some point in the future, we'll do one on Mara's channel.
Yes, I'm hoping for December, but we'll
Cool.
see how many books I have to read for the Goodreads Choice Award nominee.
Yes. Reasonable. So stay tuned. That'll be fun. So we're going to do that. But before we dive into that, very exciting news. I wasn't expecting this to happen tonight, but I just hit 20,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yay!
Very exciting. Yeah, and so I am announcing a little giveaway because I've been stockpiling books for a giveaway. So the way this is going to work is I know I have some international folks. The books I'm about to show you are US only. One person is going to get a very exciting stack of books in the mail from me. And then if you are outside the US and you want to enter, what I'll do is like a $15 digital gift card to a local place of your choice, like
the gift of shopping.
Related. The gift of buying yourself a book.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Just because that's kind of prohibitive. So I'm going to show you the books that are in the giveaway. If you're interested in entering, just comment below and let me know whether it's US or international. And I will pick a winner in like a week and respond to your comment, something like that. Yeah? Okay. So this is the stack of books. So
Even in the US, I feel like the media mail rate on that is not going to be low.
It's fine. Like the max media mail is like $10. So I'm like,
oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was still by weight. Oh, okay. Well, look at you.
Yeah, it won't be that bad. Yeah. Anyway, we have The Bell and the Fog by Lev A.C. Rosen. This is the second book in a historical murder mystery series with a queer private detective protagonist that I like. Most of these are arcs. It does include a couple of finished copies, and they were like extras I had and stuff. So I thought somebody else could enjoy them. A Power Unbounded by Freya Marsk, which just came out. This is the third book. And yeah, third book in the series. It is a historical fantasy queer romance with a mystery. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, all the genres just in one book.
All in one. Then we have this, which came with a little cool insert thing, but Unholy Terrors by Lyndall Clipstone. I ended up with 2 finished copies of this from the publisher, so I thought I would pass along one of them for the giveaway. And this is like a YA fantasy romance, darker fantasy romance. It sounds interesting. I have not read it, so I can't necessarily vouch for it, but it looks cool. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White, which is a gothic horror novel by a trans author about a trans person who gets and I think it has a fantastical element to it as well. And so after a failed attempt at escaping an arranged marriage, he's diagnosed with veil sickness and shipped away to a finishing school and sanatorium. So it's like gothic horror.
Okay.
But dealing with anyway, I'm
into the title, I'm into the cover.
Yeah, it's YA, but like I read his first YA horror and it was amazing, but like with a lot of religious trauma stuff and body horror, but really good. So anyway, it was very interesting. Then we have Hunt on Dark Waters, an arc of Hunt on Dark Waters by Katie Robert. This is the first in her new pirate romance series.
You do not like books with boats, so that is probably not a book for you.
That's true. Well, I actually have a finished copy because I like Katie Robert. So,
oh, okay. Yeah.
But I ended up with an ARC copy, so I thought I would put that in the giveaway.
You're spreading the wealth.
Spreading the wealth. And then an author that I just think is not going to be for me, but a lot of people like, is we have the exclusive Comic-Con edition of The Bat by Joe Nesbø.
Also not for me.
Yeah. So it's a horror.
People love him.
Thriller horror.
Does it have Harry Hole in it?
We have people wondering, what did I miss? So this is a giveaway for 20,000 subscribers. So like for hitting 20K. And then the last thing that I think people will be very excited about, and all of these books are going to go to one person in the US, so comment below if you want to enter, is An Arc of the Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is her forthcoming speculative historical novel set in 1918, so during the Great War.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's a large stack, and I think you cover a lot of ground with
Yes, I
types
think
of
so.
books in that stack.
So, so if you want, so any comment below if you're in the US and you want to enter. If you are international and want to enter a giveaway, I'm going to do like a $15 gift card to a bookstore, local bookstore of your choice. So anyway, just yay.
Yay!
It's very exciting.
Everyone, we need to decide, like, okay, you have to say if you're US or international, but like what else do they need to say? Like their favorite thing about you, you know, if they had $1 million, what they would buy for you, like what are they commenting?
Why you're subscribed to my channel, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
Compliments.
We'll take it all. We'll take it all. Anyway, so that's just a fun way to start it, but I'll look through the comments. Hi everyone. Hey Bronwyn.
Hello.
Hello. We have so many people. This is exciting.
We're about to find out how good or bad I did.
Yeah, so this will be fun. I just thought I would open with the giveaway since we just hit it, and I was like, well, this is great. Let's just throw
that is
this in
great. I'm like hovering right under 40, and I have been there for a while, and I'm like, I know. In my heart, I still dream of getting that plaque someday. I know it's not going to happen.
They're like, "Mom, are you getting one?" I'm like, They're like, "How many subscribers?
We got a hill to climb here, but you know what?
My kid is like, "Mom, I think you're going to do it. Maybe in like a couple more years." And I'm like,
you know what?
Don't stop believing. I appreciate the confidence. Thank you.
Yes. It's just the gamification element of like,
yeah, it is cool.
The plaque
Hell
is fun.
Followed With Us. That was his first book. Yeah, it was intense.
Oh, okay. Would you describe it as more maybe like new adult horror in terms of like?
It is definitely upper YA, just because it's intense horror.
Shit gets real.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's good. It's good. It's very smart.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So, hello. Bronwyn, it could be you.
If you're in the contiguous US.
Or actually, you never know.
Yeah, any of the US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
To enter, you comment below, I believe. Do you say to comment below with if you're in US or
comment below if you're in the US or if you're international. Put a comment below and I'll pick a winner in like a week or something. So
Bronwyn's not in the US.
Not in the US. I'm so sorry. Well, if you get the gift card, you can pre-order yourself a copy.
Yes.
Maybe. Oh, thank you, everybody. This is so nice.
This is so well timed. Like it ends up being like a congrats on 20K chat.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, well, if you want to enter, I'm not picking a winner from the live stream comments. You have to comment down below on the video, and I will go there to pick a winner in a week. So, but you can't
enter right now because right now you can't leave comments because we're live. But as soon as we're done, you can just stay and you can hit the like button and then you can comment.
Thank you, Mara.
I'm trying.
Amazing. Appreciate it. I subscribe for the cute headbands.
That's legit.
Good enough reason.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay. Anyway, so that was like a sidebar. So these are the books Mara picked for me, and Mara, maybe we could go through and you can say like, we have range here.
Yes. Well, we're women of varied taste.
We are. Where do you want to start? And maybe we can start with like, you can tell me why you picked it. And and then
let's see, where should we? Okay, do you want to start with the one that I didn't like, but I thought that you would?
Oh, okay, yeah, this one.
That's Embassy Town. So I read this last year, I think. I picked it up when I was in London, and I'd always meant to try China Mieville, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. I picked it up and I was like, I can see why people like him, but this isn't really for me. But this feels like a Bethany book because it feels like it's speculative and very like theme heavy,
Yeah.
which I tend to associate with how you tend to enjoy speculativeness.
Yes.
So was I right? Was this a Bethany book?
I feel like I liked it better than you did.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I don't like, I respect what he's doing with it. I think the ideas are really interesting.
Yeah, that was how
Um,
I felt too. Is like, I
I
get this, but
Yeah, I felt like the reading experience was a little tedious at times.
okay. Whoa,
So,
okay. I feel like you're much more a much more patient reader than I am, so I think it
mhm.
says something that even you were had your patience
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah, like, there were moments in it when I was like, "Wow, this is really interesting and really cool," and
Yeah.
then there was a lot of things that I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So, and this is
Now,
my second time trying him, so I'm like, I'm not sure
yeah.
he's really like, I respect his ideas, I see why people like, I think he's got interesting things he's thinking about, but I don't know that I love his execution.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I knew you didn't love the first book you'd read for him from him, which I think
Mhm.
was like his which one was it? Was it his debut?
It was his debut, which
Okay.
was actually and honestly, I felt very similar about that, and that I think well, that was also that first one was also just weird, like, a little too weird for me, but the first one whereas this one wasn't weird, it was just, like, kinda a little bit tedious,
Mhm.
but I think similarly, I was like, "I see what you're doing, you have interesting ideas here, and the actual prose is, like, pretty good." I'm
Mhm.
just not really that engaged. Um,
Yeah.
so mixed feelings. So I think I probably liked it, maybe liked it better than you did, just because I did think that the way
Yeah.
he's, like, because he's talking about all of these things of like, how do we use language and how does that impact like the way we
Mhm.
communicate across species and who we are. And I think those ideas are really interesting to explore. I just think um, the book is Embassy Town by China Mieville.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, do you wanna give them like the back of the book synopsis?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, what do they say about this? So, it's like set in the far future, humans have colonized a planet where the original people who were not people, beings who lived there are these aliens who like don't have language in the same way humans do.
Mhm.
Um it functions differently and so they have and so like the humans over time have had to develop like people who are sort of trained and like genetically modified to be able to communicate with them and translate.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but then some things go very wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
been a while since I've read it, but yes, the all this is tracking with my memory.
yeah,
So,
so
like,
like the concept is
thematically
interesting.
yeah, thematically, it's a lot about, like, what does it mean to communicate? Like, can you ever really fully communicate if you're not a native speaker? Like,
Mhm.
sort of like the philosophy of language is a lot of what it's
Yeah.
thinking
Well,
about.
and how does like our understand like how is our understanding of ourselves and our world informed by the way we use
Mhm.
language and how
Yeah,
much does it
yeah.
change things? Um so yeah, like really interesting ideas, but
Mhm.
told in kind of a boring way.
Okay, well, this was a good experiment because if you found it boring, then I feel much more validated because I was like, this is really smart. I'm just not that engaged with this, but I think of you as a very patient reader. So I thought maybe you would do better with it. But maybe I at least helped narrow
Yeah.
down that he's not an author for you.
Yeah, no, which I do appreciate because I did want to try something else from him at some point, so I'm glad that I did, and I can probably safely say he's an author where, like, I respect his ideas.
Yes. Yeah,
He
yeah,
just
yeah.
might not be the person he's not gonna be a go-to for me, so
Yeah, sometimes there are authors like that where it's like, I should love this. And I just don't,
yeah.
and I mm,
I
yeah.
mean, to be fair, I do feel like I can kind of see why you might have thought I would like it more, because I think of things like the Gene Wolfe books that we read,
That's
like the Book of the New Sun.
exactly. Yep, I was thinking of that, and I was thinking of The Unbroken. A couple of our Blades and Bodice Club, oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah,
Blades
Blades
and
and Bodice
Bodice
Rippers.
versus
Yeah,
book club picks.
yeah.
I feel like there's been ones where you like them better than I did because you like the ideas in them better than I did.
I think that's true. I can see that for sure with Unbroken. I do think with Book of the New Sun, what I enjoyed about it, which I think is not the case here, is that
Is the
it's
puzzle.
like a puzzle, and so,
Yeah,
like, my
yeah.
brain is, like, trying to interpret things and figure stuff out, whereas this is
You
not
do
like
like
that,
a
it's kind of
puzzle.
laid out for you. So, like,
Mhm.
the ideas he's grappling with are interesting, but I don't know that
Yeah.
there's much engagement from the reader.
Oh, the other thing that I was thinking of was, the Arcady Martine duology and the whole, like,
Oh, I do love those.
ambassador.
I love those.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
so I thought that
That's
might
true.
also be a hook
Yeah,
for you,
yeah.
is that
But I
kind
think
of.
I was also those I was really into like, the way she does it works for me, I think, the way she does
Her
characters,
writing is
the way she
great,
does
yeah.
politics, like, just really whereas this, I'm like, "I should be interested in this, but I feel like you're giving me the most not interesting details."
Yeah, I am feeling very validated right now, and I when I read it, I was like, "Am I just, like, t too impatient as a reader or, like, just not willing to,"
No.
but maybe it's just it was a little
I
bit
think
boring.
I
Okay.
think you're
Well, I'm
valid.
sorry I inflicted a boring book on you, but hopefully it was it was at
It's
least,
okay, it was no, I'm not mad I read it, it was fine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully you enjoyed contemplating the nuance and meaning of language.
it was
Yeah.
interesting. I think I probably gave it, like, a 3, 3.5, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
I
like
think I gave it, like, a 3.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
well, we agree on that one.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next?
Um, what about queer coded classic?
Excellent Women by Barbara Pym. I really liked this. It was, it was, funny?
Yeah, yeah. She's referred to often as like the more contemporary version of Jane Austen.
Yeah,
It's
which
sort of
I
like
can
that observation, like comedy of manners, but like
yes.
in the 20th century.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that, but I think it's interesting because it's from I don't know, a lot of her observations were just really entertaining, and,
Mhm.
like, the way that she thinks about people and sees her place in the world and the way that people interact with her, um, and I also just think it's really interesting looking at, like, the kinds of roles the different women inhabit
Mhm.
is, I think, what this is really interested in looking at, and that, like, there are excuse me, that there are, these excellent women who are, gonna run things and keep things moving and
Mhm.
stuff, but aren't necessarily the ones that people want to marry or the people that have, like, that are part of these great love affairs, and I thought that was really
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot about gender, I think, in a very
Mm,
subversive way in terms of um like the different functions that women play in society, and it's not always as tied to marriage as we kind of assume.
mhm. Yeah,
Particularly if I'm remembering rightly, that one, because I've read a few of her books, but I think that one has to do with like women in the church keeping things moving, which both of us
yeah,
come from a religious
yeah,
background. So I definitely I remember when I read that being like, yes, like, okay, yeah, you know, those ladies who like they're the
yeah.
ones always organizing the potluck. They're the ones always like getting the youth group ready to go on their mission trip or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, I think in this book, none of them are married. In real life, like I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think like they may get married, but they're probably not having they don't have the most interesting marriages or lives, or they're not I don't do you know what I mean? They're kind of
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking like there's some of those, but then there's all I don't know. In most of the churches I went to, there was always a couple of like women who never got married and their whole life is the church.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's a guy on TikTok who does imitations of one of those ladies, and it is very funny. But that might be I don't know if that's more of like a southern
It
stereotype.
may maybe. I mean, I feel like I've known some like that, and then I think I've also known people who were like, widowed or something, and the church is just like has filled in.
Yeah. Oh,
everything.
yeah, for sure. For sure, there's always the, you know,
Or
the
people who just are
the widow
empty
pulling.
nesters and like
Yeah.
their husband's never around, but they're always such.
It is, so my best friend is getting married in the spring, so we've been just talking a lot about marriage recently, and we were talking about how in evangelicalism, which should have been a very big red flag to us, was that when people were always talking about like marriage, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, like, it's a test from the Lord. It demands you to be better than you are. And it's just like, in
Yeah.
retrospect, it's like, I think you're just not marrying the right people, guys. Like, I don't think most marriage or like a good marriage shouldn't be like a trial from God.
I don't think
Like,
it needs to be. I mean, it's like either not the right people or you're not the also not the right person when you're getting married kind of thing.
yeah,
This came up like when we were doing marriage counseling actually with my husband because like we just like never have really we don't really fight almost at all.
mm,
Really? Like, we'll have discussions, anyway, but like, my parents did a lot, and so when I was growing up, and so when we did marriage counseling, I was, like, concerned that we're getting married, and, like, we haven't really had a lot of fights. We've had, like, 1, but it was about, like, evolution. Because at the time, I was, like, very concerned that he believed in evolution because I was still deep in, like,
how could you evil
that was,
scientist?
like, our one big fight when we were
Yeah,
dating. So, like
what a thing to fight about. Oh, yeah, I mean, and yeah, what she was saying, because I think I mean, everybody's dynamic is different, but anyway,
Yeah,
she was just saying like, I never feel like it's a trial to be with him. Like,
yeah,
I enjoy spending time with him. I know
yeah.
that I can rely on him and whatever.
Well,
Anyway.
and to be fair, I mean, I think also part of it is, like, I see people who it's like are if you're marrying somebody where there are these, like, strict ideas of gender roles and, like, you're not marrying a partner, you're marrying somebody that you have to, like, take care of, like,
Mhm.
that can create a different dynamic.
Yeah. Like, if one of you is marrying somebody that they're gonna have to take care of and the other person is marrying somebody that they get to boss around, like, that can be quite a
Or that they expect to nag them because they're not participating. I don't know, like, that because that was a lot of
yeah.
times the dynamic. I don't know, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Gifts are the straights okay?
Well, that is a good point. I mean, I think some of these people who are like, "Yeah, it's a trial from the Lord," it's like, maybe because 'cause you're gay. Like, have you thought I mean, maybe not, but just something to consider.
Yeah. I just remember, being in Bible studies with women and stuff where they would talk about, like, "Well, when you're frustrated, instead of nagging your husband, just pray, and God will change his heart."
Well, also, like, I just don't understand the concept of like, I'm not gonna nag an adult who's supposed to be my partner. Like, that
Yeah,
just if that's where we're at, we've got other problems.
yeah, but it starts early, but it's interesting. Anyway, but
Yeah.
Excellent Women is, like, this woman who's never been married and, has, like, prospects has had kind of maybe prospects, but it's, like,
Yeah.
iffy. But it's interesting because she's, like, the person that everyone leans on when they're having a rough time.
Mhm.
Um, and that I thought was really interesting too at the end. I don't know, because like, she kind of is into the one guy who's married to the woman who's, like, cheating on him,
Mhm.
and
What did you think about? Because when I first read these, it wouldn't have even occurred to me that they were queer coded, but, subsequently, I found out that a lot of people think of them as being in that vein.
Mhm.
As a more recent reader of this book, do you agree with that assessment?
I don't think the main character is really queer coded in this book.
Okay.
But I would say some of the other characters probably, yes. Um,
Okay.
like, to me, she doesn't read as, like I mean, unless by queer you mean, like, possibly on the ace spectrum.
I mean, I
Which, I
wonder.
mean, like, it could be like,
Yeah.
but I think she's not like, she's like kind of maybe has a thing for this guy, but she doesn't really want women in her space that much either.
Mm,
So I don't
yeah.
know. But I do think that I could definitely see that potentially for some of the other side characters, that like there are other women who have and the women that she doesn't want to be like, for instance, who have just lived together forever, and the two women that move into her
Mhm.
building at the end of the book, like I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
very much queer coded. So I do think it's interesting.
It's maybe there. I need to read. I at some point there was like a sale on her ebooks and I picked up a bunch. I need to go back and read because I remember I think I've read like 3 of her books
Mhm.
and all of them I thought were just like fun. Like they're
Yeah,
all very similar tonally from what I've read and they're just sort of like funny and
mhm.
historical and
Observant. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, and I had never heard of her before, so
Yeah. She's one
it's
of
cool.
those sort of like undersung classics like especially for female authors.
Mhm.
Um, she's one that I point people to if they're looking for,
Yeah.
classic off the beaten path.
Yeah. No, it was kinda cool. See, I was gonna say sometimes it's marrying for the wrong reasons, like marrying to become a wife and do wifely duties. Yeah,
Bow chicka bow wow.
you know, marry lest ye burn.
Yeah. I knew a lot of people who got married so that they could stop burning, and
Mhm.
it worked out for some of them and not so much for others. But
That seems to be the thing. I think a lot of people think any older woman who's never married is gay. Yeah, I never used to, and then I realized, like, oh, I mean, I don't think that's always
yeah.
true, but I think, if especially if they're living with another older woman for years
Yeah.
on
Well,
this.
but they were roommates, Bethany.
Right, obviously.
And they were roommates, who wanted to be buried together.
Mhm, yeah,
um, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Oh.
that's interesting. You know what? Do you? I think
I think I try not to make any assumptions about anyone and their sexuality or relationship status. I've gotten burned so many times by making assumptions about
yeah,
people and then feeling silly, so I try to just let them
you
tell
really
me.
just yeah, you really just don't know. I feel like it's incorrect that, like, it's obvious or that you can just tell from looking like looking
Well,
at
like there was I had a relative who was single well into her like late 30s, early 40s, and I kind of just assumed that she might be queer. And then
Mhm.
one day she showed up and I with a dude she was getting married to, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I totally misread that. That's on me."
Yeah. I mean, or she could have also been, but who knows? Like, you
Yeah,
just yeah,
or yeah, who
yeah,
knows?
yep.
Yeah.
So few people avoid me. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people just haven't found the one yet to make it worthwhile. I mean, which is also valid because, like, I wouldn't want to be married to just anybody to be married. Like, I'm
No.
glad I found a partner I found, but like, I don't know. Never married and does not intend to. I'm not gay,
Amen.
just have no desire to take care of a man, which is also valid, you know?
Yeah.
Let them tell me is the best policy. Yes.
Yeah.
Just I don't care what others think or assume, but I'm pretty happy in my life. All right.
Yeah.
Good for you. I love that. Cool. So yeah, no, this was good. I liked it.
Good. I'm glad. I it felt like a book you would
Yeah,
vibe
I
with.
did. I'm glad it kind of pushed me into something that I hadn't really heard of. So that was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah,
Well, the last one is also pushing you to a galaxy far, far away that you've never heard of
it's true.
with this fantastic cover art.
Fantastic. Here we go. Seven Brides for Seven Alien Brothers, Artec by Honey Phillips. Oh, so what was the
Well,
the motivation
last
behind
time
it?
we did this, which has been a few years now,
Mhm,
I sent you a Ruby Dixon novella that went
mhm.
over well. So
Yeah.
I decided I would send you a Honey Phillips novella because I think she's potentially another sci-fi romance author you might like.
Yeah, and
We'll
I
see.
liked this. I had, like, one there was, like, one small, like, issue I had with it we can talk about, but overall, I really enjoyed it. One thing about it, though, is that I have always loved Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
I know it's so problematic, but I do
It
love it
is,
as a
but
concept.
I just although to be fair, in hindsight, knowing what I know about my own sexuality now, like, the fact that I always really loved the scene of, like, all the girls in their underwear singing in the bedroom,
You
like,
know,
you know,
the
they were
maths.
very pretty, like, they were
Oh, and I mean, I so often have been in the bedroom in my underwear singing with my fellow
right.
sister
I mean,
wives.
isn't that what you do?
Yeah, with my sister's
Speaking of
mom.
things that could be queer coded.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No, but I overall really enjoyed this. I think it actually oh, wait, hold on. I thought that was a great parallel. Seven Breads for Seven. Yeah. Yeah, overall, I actually thought she kind of improved on some of the issues with the original.
I do like that the origin for the kidnapping is
Mhm.
cultural misunderstanding.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that is an improvement.
I think so too. Well, and I also liked the fact that in this case, like the her husband like didn't expect her to necessarily just take over doing everything in the house. He was like,
Mhm.
"No, I just like I wanted to marry you. You can sit in the room all day if you want. I
Yeah.
just want, and so I liked that too, that it wasn't this like because the original really was he was like, "Well, I'm not going to admit how into you I am."
Yeah. It
I'm
felt
just
sort of like Wendy and the Lost Boys a little bit in the
yes.
original of like,
Yeah.
you're just here to kind of be our mom.
Yeah.
And she does like have a little bit of, I mean, that's part of the trope. Like she
Yeah.
does take on that, but it doesn't feel like it's something she's forced to do.
No, it's like something she's choosing instead, and so I think then they have a better communication and have a healthier relationship. So overall, I really liked this as a different take on that. Um,
Mhm.
the only thing I didn't love is there's a scene where she starts, like, doing some sexual things to him while he's still sleeping, and he initially kinda wakes up and is like, "No." And I mean, even though, like, as the
Oh,
reader that, like,
yeah.
his no is actually just because he's got issues he's working through, I was still uncomfortable with the fact that, like, she kept going and then, "Oh, but it's fine because he actually likes it." I was like, "Mm, okay."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So,
that's fair. No
yeah.
no rebuff there. That is very fair.
But
No
other
does
than
mean
that,
no.
yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't love that, and I'm also just kinda, like, icked by the, like, doing things when someone's asleep. I'm kinda like, "Mm."
I yeah, it can be icky for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is probably some internalized misogyny or like sexism, I guess. But it icks me way more when it's the other way,
Hmm.
when it's the woman who's asleep and it's the guy doing it to her. But like I said, that's
Yeah,
probably some internalized sexism of
yeah,
like,
because I think it's
well, the guy
probably,
kind
like
of always yeah.
yeah, because that's not necessarily true, so it's
That
yeah.
is yeah, objectively not true, but
I'm
yeah.
always okay with it if it's like they start like, caressing them maybe while they're sleeping, but not actually doing anything that's like,
Yeah, and if
you know
they're in more of an established relationship, it also is more like
yeah,
not that you can't rescind consent from your partner, but like there's more of like a long-standing kind of established framework of consent
right,
that
to a
you're
certain
operating
extent.
in. Yeah.
Although I'm still iffy on that because, like, the number of women I've heard talk about having spouses who do that when they're asleep and expect that to
Ooh,
be okay, I'm like, or not."
okay.
So, anyway, I've
Man.
yeah. So
Well, like
that's
I
why.
just on a related note, I just DNF'd a book because it was a hit. So if this had been a speculative romance, I perhaps could have somewhat gone with this, and
Mm-hmm.
if both parties had been affected. But in this, it was a historical romance, and the heroine had been given a tonic from her sister that was like a period relief tonic.
Oh yeah.
And she had given her this many times before, but this time she like changes it up a little bit and makes it an aphrodisiac. And the heroine ends up getting finger banged in the hallway by a strange man at this party because he thinks she is asking him for it, but she is like the equivalent of being drugged. And I was just like, no, I don't think I can go any further in this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he thinks that she is consenting, but
But
she is not. And if maybe they both had the aphrodisiac and they were both
yeah,
kind of like the equivalent of like
yeah,
love drunk, I might
you could go with
maybe
it. Yeah.
no. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, all that to
Mm-hmm.
say, consent is sexy, so I completely co-sign not liking a scene where consent was dubious.
Yep. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that aside, I very much enjoyed this. I really liked it. I would read more from her. It was
Well,
fun.
there are
Yeah,
6 more brothers who are going to have stories, so
indeed.
if you
It's
want to find out how each of them
yeah,
fares.
yeah. No, it was fun. Okay, let me see what we have here. Oh, we had that. The musical is fun to watch. Is there any other way to sing with your girl?
You're not just your girlfriends, your sister-in-laws or your sister-in-laws to be, I guess.
That is quite a setup. Seven Book for Seven is still my favorite. Took ballet and had okay. Nice. Would kick my partner out of bed if he wakes me up rolling over. I get grumpy. If you woke me up trying to do things, just leave.
I don't even like to be touched when I'm sleeping. Like I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to do anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's very fair. Like I'm not in hanky panky mode right now. Like right now I'm in sleep. This is sleep time. This is me time.
It's funny. I don't remember who it was. I saw some guys who made these TikToks saying like talking about how like the middle the middle of the bed is where you come together when it's waking hours and the end
Yeah.
sides of the bed are where you sleep.
Yes. It's like this is the shared zone and then this is
Mhm.
the demilitarized zone that
Yeah.
you shall
Yeah.
not enter.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Game for
Well,
anything
I'm
when
glad that
we
one
do not
was
touch
a
me when
hit.
I'm sleeping. That's so funny.
Yes.
I'm okay with cuddling. I just can't do it all night. Like at some point I'm like, okay, I need space now, but
It's sweaty. I mean,
that's true.
I don't know.
In the
I like to be cold when I'm
summertime, not in
sleeping.
the summer. I mean, like if it's colder, that's fine. It's fine. But you know
Yeah.
what? Also, we usually like more often than not, we end up with like a child in our bed in the middle of.
Oh, so then
Well,
you're
you
getting a
know,
cuddle whether you want it or not.
or kicked in the face.
Or that. Yeah. That's my best friend has 3 cats and they all want to sleep on her. So her sleeping is just like cat, cat, cat. Because 2 of the cats don't get along, so they're like on opposite ends of her body, but she is
Yeah.
just like covered in cat.
I'm just glad that like at least now one of my children has outgrown getting into our bed because for a while I was like, we have a queen size bed. It's not big enough for 4 people.
Yeah.
It's like one of us would end up on the couch at like 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh. I appreciate you keeping the species going. I shall not be joining you in that.
Oh my gosh. Welcome. You can always go back to the beginning.
Yes.
The whole bed is mine because I'm a bed dog.
You just gotta find someone okay with that.
Oh man. So I feel like you did pretty good. Like I mean, like, you know, I didn't hate any of them. And Embassy Town,
Good.
I feel like I can see why you thought I would like it
Yeah.
more. So
I'm selfishly just glad because I feel more validated and not loving it because it was
it's
supposed to be
valid.
like
Yeah.
such a good
And
book.
yeah, both of these like I really liked. I would read more from these authors. Neither of
Good.
them were like new favorites for me necessarily, but like very enjoyable, solid picks. I think it was like overall a good you did good.
A good stack? Okay, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah. It was fun. I think also just think it's kind of fun to like read something somebody else has picked out for you.
Yeah, surrender some control
Mhm.
and just go with it.
Yeah.
Um let me grab, because the next video we'll do together is the one where I finish reading the ones you've given me. So let me grab that stack real quick.
Yeah. Let's see. Wake with cuddles is fine. Startle me awake with a hormone spike. Back off and hit the couch, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Bethany, once we're off live, comments, because you can't comment yet because we're live. But I'll pick a winner in like a week. So yes. All right. We'll see how Mara does with the books I gave her, which should be interesting. These are always fun to do.
I have returned.
Right.
So, you have given me The Helm of Midnight by Marion Lostetter. Lostetter?
Lostetter? I don't know. Marina, yeah.
I realized after the fact that I actually had put this on my TBR list because I heard you talking about it. So,
well, okay.
It's like a fantasy heist situation
with a serial killer.
With a serial killer. These are all buzzwords for me, so I'm excited for that. The Center by Aisha Manazir Siddiqui. And this one, oh yeah, she's like a translator.
It's kind of like a little gothic horror dealing with the same themes as Babel, but I think better.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I
and like more adults, more firmly like.
These are adults. Also, it's interesting we both picked books for each other that have to do with like language.
That's true.
So. And then The Spare Man, which I had been wanting to read by Mary Robinette Kowal, which is like a space romance, I believe.
And an isolated close circle murder mystery on a spaceship during their honeymoon.
If I like this enough, maybe we'll pick this for Blades and Bodice Ripper for
and
July.
She's disabled too.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Yay. I just need enough brain space to actually give them the attention they deserve, which I think will be in December.
Yeah, it's understandable. I was trying to like get stuff done because I was doing NaNoWriMo. So that's why I have already read these.
I was supposed to do NaNoWriMo, and I just have no energy or creativity right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
I've been surprised at how well it's been going.
Good. Yeah, I've seen some of your posts saying that you were pleased with your progress.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm not like, I mean, I'm like slightly behind, but I'm okay with that because I didn't have super high expectations for myself going in.
You know, if you have your expectations set low, you can never be disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I've written like 18,000 words.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're on what? Day 13.
Yeah. Like theoretically I'm supposed to be at like 21,000, but like it's not that bad.
18 it's a lot of words.
And it's going well. It's been fun. I'm doing like yeah. And I'm like writing a book that I would want to read.
So. What can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, so I'm doing a contemporary queer retelling of Northanger Abbey.
Oh, that's very you. Yeah. That is very you.
Yes.
Is it adult or YA?
Adults.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I just read an adult sapphic retelling of Pride and Prejudice that I loved.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's been fun because I also did I did a reread of Northanger Abbey, and I actually think you can kind of read the two, like couple of the characters as queer coded in text.
Which ones?
Catherine and Henry. That the main character and the love interest that she ends up with in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she's like described as like a tomboy growing up who like is really into less ladylike pursuits until she's kind of like pushed into it when she's a teenager. And then the first real conversation she has with him is like him going on and on about like fabrics. and clothing.
I just thought he was a dandy.
Well, yeah, potentially, but I'm just saying like that can also be like sometimes is like queer coded. So I just think it's interesting that both of them you could read that way.
I
Except
mean,
in my version, she's ending up with his sister.
yeah. I mean, as she should.
As she should.
I say Northanger Abbey is probably my least favorite Austen so far.
Mm.
But it was obviously still great. Like, bad Austen is still great. So
I've always really liked it. I think it's fun. It's more of like a satire, and I always thought it would be really good as a contemporary. Like I think it would. I think it could do well as a like with a contemporary retelling.
what is the like, are they do one of the like, how are they rich, basically, or are they rich?
Um, yeah. So this is the part where I'm like, I'm gonna need probably sensitivity readers because their family is like the so Henry and Elle, so I'm called are mixed race, and so their dad is retired military, and their mom came from like wealthy New York aristocracy, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, they got to be rich somehow. So
yeah, so they
I mean, I
are,
guess they don't have to be, but
and they've gotten into like political advocacy and like nonprofit organization stuff. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm glad it's going so
yeah,
well.
yeah. So I think it'll be interesting, and then it's fun. Anyway, I'll tell you. I can tell you more off camera.
Off camera. I will say I saw somebody posted, oh, I think her name was Danica Neva. That might not be her name, but she's an indigenous author, and she has her debut rom-com coming out with Berkeley next year, and it is the first like major publisher rom-com by an indigenous author featuring two indigenous characters.
Amazing.
So I'm excited about that.
That's really
But
exciting. I love
I'm
that.
excited for, in general, there being, I don't know, like just
Mhm.
more variety coming into the major publishers. Not
Yes.
enough, but
Absolutely.
slowly
Yes.
but surely.
Thank you, Lexi. Yes, I think Catherine Eleanor is a great name. Cat and L. We're updating
Aw.
it. It's been really fun to write. Felt like James Moreland and John Thorpe had a situation. Interesting.
A
Uh,
situationship.
yeah. I will say I'm also making it a lot messier and more dramatic.
Bring on the third act
Mhm.
twist.
It'll be fun. Thanks, everybody. I'm like, I want to say more, but I know I shouldn't say more, so I'm not going
No, I hear ya.
to.
Well, I did, so, like, when I started, I'm working on a book this year, and I created a tier on my Patreon to keep me accountable to actually continuing to write it, which was a good idea, but then I'm accountable to write it, which is not as fun. But anyway, I asked them if they wanted any spoilers, and they were like, "No." So, it makes it very hard to give updates because 'cause I'm just like, "The thing happened
Yeah. Well, I
that I
guess too,
needed to
because
do?"
you're writing like a mystery, yeah,
Right.
which is a
So,
whole yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Whereas this is much more a dramatic romance with social commentary.
Yes.
So yeah. But I think it'll be fun. Hopefully. So we'll see. Hopefully I can like get a draft. I know it needs work, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy with how it's coming together.
But drafting, I feel like, is, at least for me, I always find that to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
So I
That's what
like editing.
editors are for.
I love editing. That's my favorite part of the process.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
well, I'm
Cool.
excited I did not totally fail you. And keep an eye out, folks, for
Not
part 2 on my channel, probably
perhaps
in
in
December.
December. That'll be
Yeah.
fun. It's very exciting. All right.
Once
Well,
we
thank
get
you,
through our
Mara.
Goodreads nominees
Yes.
reading.
Yeah.
then we'll
we're both do. If you have like options tomorrow, if you want to see reactions, because I'm doing one in the afternoon and Mara's doing one tomorrow night. So
yeah, I have to I am going to be completely off social media tomorrow, so I do not get spoiled.
Yeah.
Yes, The Truth According to Ember. That's what it was called.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah. And I think we both have guests.
Yes,
right?
Jess was like, "Can I join you?" And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
So
Because she had asked me and then couldn't because she's got work and then but I've got like a few people who are coming on my channel too who are like, I want to do it too. So I'm like, great, yeah, go.
Yeah. So there'll be plenty of reactions all around.
You know it. Every year we do this.
It's like our Super Bowl.
It is. It is. It's our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, well, thanks everybody. And don't forget, once we go off live, like and leave a comment down below.
With
So
where
that
you are and a compliment.
Yes, where you are in a compliment. Or like why you watch my channel. But yeah, so if you want to enter the US or international giveaway. Oh, no worries. It's fine. Catch it on replay. It'll be available. No.
Yes.
The beauty of YouTube. Yes.
Yeah.
The Goodreads choice stuff is always fun. That's true. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.